just did it online. Hey, how you going? That doesn't matter. I'm Kevin, if you don't know me. I'm Kevin. I'm one of the youth leaders here at the church, and it's a real pleasure, a real privilege to be able to share my story. And I just want to encourage you, listen up, because it's a good story. Not because I'm like rad or awesome, but because God is totally rad and awesome, has done a totally rad and awesome thing in my life.
Great.
See, even though I'm got the weird hip-hop pants and the tattoos and stuff, when I was a kid, I was exactly like you guys. Exactly like you guys. I had parents that loved me and worked hard and did their best to send me to a good school and provide for me and do the right thing by me. And so I was a lot like you guys. I played a lot of sport, played a lot of computer games, ate a lot of Maccas, watched a lot of bad TV, listened to like really embarrassing music. Not that you guys do. But, I did all those things, and I did pretty well in my studies at school because, God gave me a half-decent brain, and I did all right in school. Yeah. And I was a pretty normal kid. Like a lot of you guys, I was a pretty normal kid, but that was just on the surface. I was only a pretty normal kid on the surface because what was going on in my family, despite my parents loving me and trying their best to provide for me, what was going on in my family was when I turned about 6 or 7, my parents weren't around as much anymore because the Buerle Casino had just been built in Perth, and my parents got slowly lured into a gambling addiction. So they were away for most weekends, and I was at home by myself with my 2 older sisters, who are about 9 or 10 years older than me. So the point of that is that I was left to my own devices at a very young age. And while that is no doubt sad, and it was sad, but at the time, being so young, I thought, cool, no parents around, I'm going to do what I want. Yeah. And I did that, and I did crazy stuff like jumping on a train from Kelmscott, where I lived, and I went to Perth, and, just went to Time Zone and played games and saw movies and stuff. And I thought, man, this is so cool, this is so cool. But really deep down, I was hurting because I was like, where's my mum and dad, where's my family life? But, I just thought, I'll just latch onto this freedom, and I went out and did all these exciting things, and things were stressful at my house. Parents started to fight a lot, and sisters started to fight a lot, and always used to be over money and who was doing this and who wasn't doing that. And it became a bit of a sad picture around my house. Like I said, it didn't, at the time, seem all bad because, I was filling the gap. I was filling the gap with what was missing in my life, like doing dumb stuff like jumping on a train, going to Perth and playing in Time Zone all day. I was doing dumb stuff like breaking windows and abandoned blocks and doing spray painting and, nicking stuff like Mars bars from the shop and walking out, just stealing whatever I wanted. I thought, it's pretty exciting. I just like it, I'll take it, I'll do whatever I want. But by the time I got to high school, I pretty much had lost all interest in school. And I became really focused on, what exciting was out there in the big wide world. And around about this time in high school, I started hanging out with some older kids in my neighbourhood. They were maybe, I was about 12, they were probably about 16 or 17, a bit older than me, and they were cooler, they had all the cool clothes, their skateboards and stuff like that. And they befriended me, and that was a really big deal for me because I found it really hard growing up as a kid because everyone used to tease me because I looked very Chinese as a kid. And my parents are Chinese, and we were one of the first Chinese families down in Kelmscott. So life was a bit tough. It was a bit racist down there. So these kids, they accepted me, they took me in, and I was doing like cool stuff, doing cool ollies with the older kids. And then these kids eventually got into doing some more extreme stuff. More extreme than hardcore skateboarding. They got into extreme stuff like smoking pot, taking acid, trying speed and stuff like that. And, the alarm bells are going off in my mind because I knew this stuff was bad. I'd seen the ads, I'd listened to it in, school and school lessons and that. But, I so desperately just wanted to hold on to these friends because, like I said, I was a bit of a loner up until then. By the time I was in year 10, these new friends were trying even harder stuff. They were actually starting to sell drugs, and because I was influenced and I looked up to them, I started doing the same. And it wasn't long until it was the first time someone showed me how to inject drugs into my arm at the age of 15, 16. And
Naughty, Kev.
Yeah, it is naughty. Just hold tight, mate. We'll talk about this afterwards. All right, Dill? Okay, cool. Thanks, mate. So I thought I had it made. I was hanging out in the nightclubs, stuff like that. You know, people were actually starting to take interest in me because I had something to offer, apparently. And, you know, I thought, yeah, cool, this is what life's all about. But deep down, man, I was really empty. There was something severely missing, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it at the time. And by the time I was 18 years old, I'd pretty much done everything legal and illegal that you could do. And still wasn't enough, and that's when heroin came along. One of the people that I knew had heroin, and they offered it to me, and I thought I'd try it. And I thought it was exciting, and the sad thing was that I really took hold of it, and I was actually a heroin addict for 13 years of my life. And the reason why I enjoyed the heroin so much was no longer did I feel hurt or disappointed or let down by my family or my friends or what I thought the world owed me. No longer did I feel insecure about, oh man, do these kids think I'm, you know, look like some Asian nerd, or are they going to like me? Or no longer did I feel any of that rejection, because I just didn't feel anything. I was just numb from this drug, and I just kept taking it and taking it and taking it for 13 years. And by the time I was 31 years old, which was 5 years ago, if you're going to do the maths, 5 years ago, life had got so out of control, so crazy, that it was a hot summer's day in Perth. I was living in Leaderwoods, probably about 11 in the morning, and I was hiding underneath the bed, shooting up drugs on a dusty floor in a bedroom. And I was in this moment, just had my sanity for just a few split seconds, and I thought to myself, God, how did my life get here? How did my life get here? How did I get so low? And I remember I saw this, I don't know how I got there, but it was a little cross like Jesus. One sec, mate. There was a little glow-in-the-dark cross, and it was there, and I remember holding this cross of Jesus and going, God, if you are there, you've got to help me. You've got to save me from my life. Please, God, help me. And I was expecting like a beam of white light, Mr. Bean, to, you know, God to pop down and give me a high five and say, hi, I'm God, I'm here to help. But none of that happened, and I was really disappointed, and I just went into a rage. I smashed up my bedroom, I smashed that cross of Jesus, and I passed out. But here's the thing, God did hear me, because when I woke up, I found myself 450 kilometres away up near Geraldton, getting clean on my dad's farm. My dad had heard about my situation again, and he'd come and take me away to, you know, get me away from the scene that I was in. And then the strangest thing happened. For a guy that used to hang out with clubbers and druggies and criminals, all of a sudden, every second or third person I met was a Christian. And they all had this amazing news to say, hey man, and they were all really cool. They knew about me. They weren't judgmental or anything like that. They just had a great positive message that there was this man who is God, Jesus Christ, who came on this earth to take away my sin, to take away your sin, anything dodgy you ever done. If you were like me, and I had burnt every bridge with every person I'd known. I'd stolen off so many people. I had hurt... Just a moment, mate. I had hurt so many people. Been there, done that. But have you made Jesus Christ your Lord, Dylan? That's what I want to ask you tonight. So, I made the decision. They said, look, you know, if you put your trust in Jesus, He can deliver you from your pain, from your anguish, from your heartbreak. He can deliver you from your addiction.
Yeah, amen.
And I thought, I'm no dummy. I've made some really dumb decisions the last 13 years of my life, but this sounds like a beautiful offer. So I got down on my knees and I said, Jesus Christ, I believe in you. Would you forgive me for my sins? Would you forgive me for every dodgy thing that I've ever done, Lord? And would you come into my life and show me how to live life properly? Would you be my King?
Yeah.
When I made that decision to follow Jesus, an amazing thing happened to me. I don't know if you've been taught this in school or you've seen it on TV or whatever, but if you're addicted to heroin, when you come off heroin, you go through a thing called a cold turkey or a detox, and it's for 5 days. Your body burns up, it feels like the worst flu. It's torturous. You poo your pants, you wee yourself, you throw up all over yourself, 5 days straight. It is hell. When I put my faith in Jesus Christ, boom, instantly. I didn't have to go through that. I've been through detoxes many, many times in my life. I tried every religion, every, Oprah Winfrey show. I've looked everywhere in the world on TV, other religions, Buddha. I've tried everywhere looking for hope, looking for answers, but it wasn't until I called onto the one true God, Jesus Christ,
thank you, Lord,
that his power was revealed and he rescued me from my situation.
Yeah.
And I guess today, I'm so privileged to be able to share this story with you. I'm so thankful to God that I'm still alive, that I've still got my brain, that I haven't gone insane, that I've got hope, that I can hold down a job, that I've got a beautiful wife and 3 children and I own a house. I came to this town with $20 in my pocket, but God has blessed me with the ability to do life normally, to do life properly. And today, guys, I just want to encourage you. I know a lot of you won't have a story like mine. My story is not amazing. There's thousands, there's millions of tragic stories like mine all over the world. So what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be a totally hopeless drug addict to sense the need for Jesus Christ. Each and every one of us need the love and protection and the grace and the direction of Jesus Christ. And I stand here before you today. This is just not some churchy thing that I'm saying to you. The actual presence and power of Jesus Christ moving through you guys is available. You just reach out and say, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, okay, I'm not going to stand on this line of indecision. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, maybe I will. Everybody shuffling. I'm gonna make a choice for you, God. I'm going to say, yeah, Lord, I sinned against you. Thank you for your forgiveness. Would you show me how to do life well as you as my King? So if you've got a need, if you've got a brokenness, if you've got whatever your need is, whatever your hurt, whatever your burden is, Jesus Christ absolutely, undoubtedly has the ability to lift that from you and give you life, true life. So thank you for listening to my story. And I'm going to hand over to Shay. I'm sure later before the night's out, there's going to be an opportunity to maybe respond to this message, maybe to say, look, yeah, Lord, I'm not going to be everybody shuffling anymore. I'm going to make so I kind of shuffle. But there's going to be an opportunity for you guys to respond tonight, to say, all right, I'm going to make a decision for you. And your life will never be the same again.